Everyone likes to say I crossed a river and destiny took over. Bureaucracy was already doing quite a lot of the work. My command in Gaul had made me successful, wealthy, and alarming to rivals. Negotiations sputtered because each side called its demand reasonable and the other's catastrophic. Crossing the Rubicon meant turning a constitutional crisis into open rupture. The deadlock in Rome made this step in it. This is how institutions weaken before history turns. The Republic did not fall in one step, but the step mattered because it normalized the unthinkable. What people get wrong is imagining one heroic stride into fate. The real story is a long political deadlock, finally losing patience. If you want more famous decisions with less marble and more paperwork, subscribe. The Rubicon was not magic water. It was a line with legal consequences and very impatient men on both sides. Back in Rome, opponents wanted me stripped of office before I could protect myself politically. This legal and political deadlock made dramatic action not just possible, but inevitable. Orders came that would leave me exposed if I obeyed them exactly as written. The Senate's trap was set, forcing a choice, obey and fall, or was the Rubicon's true meaning. That decision was not impulsive theater. It was a calculation that no safe return remained. Civil conflict followed, alliances shifted, and law began trailing force instead of guiding it. By the river, Rome had already taught itself to distrust compromise. The crossing was not a spontaneous act, but the final step in a long polite moment in breakball. My crossing of the Rubicon was not destiny, but the result of a political and legal stalemate. The institutions had to weaken first. Who should be the next empire builder to explain themselves? By the time I approached it, compromise had become a costume nobody believed anymore. The institutions were weakened. The crossing was the result, not the cause. I wanted to retain dignity, leverage, and preferably my future, but my success had become Senate saw me as a rival. To preserve my position, I had to act. Crossing the Rubicon was that act. So the question was not whether tension existed. The question was who would accept humiliation first. Once taken, every moderate option shrank behind me. When institutions weaken, dramatic memes start looking inevitable. A republic rarely collapses from surprise, it collapses from repetition. Republics sound noble right up until every faction hires procedure as a bodyguard. When lawfare replaces law, every step toward resolution becomes an act of war. I have rarely mistaken other men for volunteers. The letter lies unanswered as expected. Trust is a luxury. In such a deadlock, only action remains. And yes, people like quieting the die being cast. It saves them from reading the minutes. The Republic was not felled in a moment. It was exhausted by years of deadlock, its institutions weakened, making my crossing of the Rubicon not a gamble, but an inevitability.